Hello, I'm Walker Moffat, and I'd like to thank you for joining us. We're here today at Skywalker Ranch, and today I have an extremely exciting interview with none other than George Lucas. George is one of the most successful American filmmaker, writer, and producers of all time. His list of movies include American Graffiti, Indiana Jones series, and most well known is the Star Wars series. So George, tell me, who really is George Lucas? Well, Walter, my name is George Walton Lucas Jr., and I was born on May 14th, 1944, in Modesto, California. My parents sold retail office supplies and owned a walnut ranch. I am a director, writer, and producer. You had a bad automobile accident as a teenager. Do you think that changed the course of your life? Well, yes. I wanted to be a race car driver and had a souped-up Fiat. I wrecked it just days before my high school graduation. I was a terrible student in high school, and the thing that the auto accident did, it made me apply myself more because I realized more than anything else what a thin thread we hang on in life. And I really wanted to make something out of my life. The accident allowed me to apply myself at school. I got great grades, and I was able to push my photography even further and eventually discovered film and film schools. Were you always interested in making movies? Well, I grew up in a small town in central California. It was a farming community. We had a couple of movie theaters, and you'd go to the movies once in a while. I didn't get a television until I was 10 or 11 years old. I had lots of interest. I liked woodworking, I liked to build things, I liked cars, I liked art. I really wanted to be an illustrator and liked photography. I decided to go to film school because I loved the idea of making films. I love photography, and everybody said it was a crazy thing to do because in those days, nobody made it into the film business. The first class I had was an animation class. In the animation class, they gave us 1 minute of film to put onto the camera to operate it. Well, I took it one step further. I took that 1 minute of film and made it an entire short movie. And it was a movie that won 20 or 25 awards in every film festival in the world. It really got me a lot of attention in the industry. Once you started making films, do you think it came easier for you? Well, learning to make films is very easy. Learning what to make films about is very hard. I've seen reports that show your net worth being upwards of $4.3 billion. Obviously, you've mastered the use of promotions on your Star Wars movies. We've seen all the action figures and merchandising tie-ins. This was something new in the movie business. How did you figure it out better than anyone else? I had written a screenplay called Star Wars, but the screenplay was so big that I couldn't possibly make it into one movie. So I said, okay, I'll get rid of the last 2/3 of it and I'll just do the first act. I can make that into one movie, A New Hope. After thinking it through, I decided that I wasn't going to give it up. I'd spent a whole year on this and wanted to make this into 3 movies, not just one. That's how The Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi were made. And then I got the merchandising rights, which weren't anything at the time because there were no such thing as merchandising on movies. But I figured I could make posters, I could make t-shirts, and I could publicize the movie and hopefully people would go see it. Well, people definitely have gone to see your movies. You've currently been involved as a writer, director, and producer in over 90 major movies. With all this recognition, what impact do you think you've made on the world? Now, there are some things that I think I did have a part in that have definitely changed since I got involved in movie making. I believe that when we filmed Star Wars, we fundamentally changed how Hollywood films were made. We switched the focus of Hollywood-made films from deep, meaningful stories based on dramatic conflict, themes, and irony to massive special effects laden blockbusters. Before Star Wars, special effects in films had not advanced much. In reality, we helped start the movement towards the use of computer imagery in films. With the commercial success of Star Wars, we created a boom in the state-of-the-art special effects in the late 1970s and 80s. We also changed how the movie business made money. Around the same time I released Star Wars, a colleague of mine named Steven Spielberg released his movie Jaws. We decided we needed to try something different in the way we released films. Previously, films were released on a limited basis regionally. We saw that these films just didn't get the broad marketing impact we wanted, especially with the large money investments we put into these movies. So, we started the tradition in the industry of the summer blockbuster film, where films open on many screens at the same time all over the country. It created the model for major film trilogies and showed that merchandising rights for toys, posters, and clothing on a film could generate more money than selling the tickets to the film itself. It's safe to say George Lucas has definitely affected today's society. His films have had a significant impact on the modern American pop culture, where movie references from Star Wars and Indiana Jones movies are constantly made with an expectation that others will understand what you are talking about. Whether you are talking about the evil empire or maybe use the Force, Luke, you will know exactly what these lines refer to. In our next interview series, we will learn how to speak Wookiee with a very special guest. So with this said, this is Walker Moffat signing off, and may the Force be with you.